unabated level. And what I mean by that is the longer the wars went on, the more restrictions we had on us. And so you feel like you're fighting two enemies. You feel like you're fighting the actual enemy, and you feel like you're fighting higher, your command headquarters to let you do your job. And it was just constantly fighting with your command to be like, hey, we need to go out. I know you think like the war is supposed to be progressing and things are supposed to be getting better out here, but it's not. We have to get out there, and things are going to get better unless we start killing enemy personnel again. And lo and behold, we're right, because we basically set this timetable up on Afghanistan that said when we're by here at this point of the war, the Afghan forces will be this capable. And at this point of the war, they'll be even more capable. And we basically rode that timeline out and said, and then by here, we'll be able to withdraw. Now that's an oversimplification of it, but that's not far from the truth. And what we never did, well, that's actually not true. Ground units, because I saw it happen, ground units put up truthful reports to hire that said, hey, we're not where you want us to be right now. So we can't just keep on moving forward with this plan because the Afghans are not there. Those reports either weren't sent up, and I've even seen it to where those reports were changed to say, yep, they are good. And so it was just a recipe for disaster of not wanting to know the truth. Here's another theory I'll throw up there is our higher officers, they want to get promoted. Everyone wants to get promoted, but especially these higher officers. And no high officer under their watch is going to say they didn't move the ball forward under their command. And for them to tell the truth and be like, you know what, under my command, we're going to have to go back 2 steps because that's where we're at. That's unacceptable. The ball only goes forward. And so we just had a lot of just a lot of bad things happening at one time that proved just a few years ago that there was only kind of one ending to this war because we weren't willing to be honest with each other and honest with generals weren't willing to be honest with politicians. Politicians weren't willing to be honest with the American public. So the fall of Afghanistan was no surprise to the military. And so to go to the Delta Force was a way that I didn't have to, I knew things, I didn't know a lot about them, but I knew it was more streamlined over there. I knew those guys went on target or really, really hoped and they didn't have to fight their own command. And those guys weren't hamstringed as much as I was. And so, those are all the things that put together, like, I really want to, these are the reasons I want to go over there.
So I guess before going to the next steps there, looking at the 2021 fall where obviously Afghanistan itself fell, this was streamlined everywhere on TV. How do you feel about that looking back now?
It's disgusting. There's no pulling punches on that. It's disgusting. Every American should be enraged by what they saw. It was the biggest blunder of a military operation in modern era we've ever executed. And no one paid the price for that. I can assure you, if I ever executed a mission like that, I'd be fired by a general before my helicopter wheels touched the ground. But when it's their turn to execute an operation at a high level, at a theater level, that is a general level operation, and they absolutely screw it up, and then Marines die, soldiers die at the gates from a bombing, from your absolute inability to plan and execute, or your lack of a backbone to push back and say, what you want us to do cannot be done. So I don't care which one it is. You were either a yes man and refused to tell the Secretary of Defense or the President the truth, which should get you fired for not being able to tell the truth, or you're a completely incompetent planner and completely unable to execute a complex plan that necessarily isn't complex. It's a plan that is appropriate to your level of command that you should be able to execute, yet you didn't. No one's fired. Who's fired from that? Who paid the price? Besides the ground guys at the gate, they paid a heavy price for it. Who paid the price at a general level, at a political level, at any level? Nobody. And it's disgusting. And America looked like we spent 20 years there and wasted blood, sweat, and tears for nothing. I'm not saying we should have stayed there forever. I don't want a 40, 50, 60-year plan. But if you're telling me that's the way it has to end, and we just couldn't think of a better way to leave a country than that, well, then you're just walking a party line and you're bullshitting me, because we all know that's not the answer.